Good afternoon again. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get back to the JRC in just a moment, but first the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are in the description box. Autistic Hoya's massive archive is a go-to. That's where we get the bulk of our material for this show in regards to the JRC. We have the article written by Neuroclastic. They did interview over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. It did get under the JRC's skin so much they did threaten them with a defamation lawsuit. So read that article and share it. Just know Neuroclastic refused. So we also have their GoFundMe link there as well, because unlike the JRC, us advocacy folks do not have access to unlimited funds of money. Just in case the JRC ever sees through with that threat. Trigger warnings. We talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is advised. Alright, now back to where we left off. SAS now participates in physical activities, including walking on the treadmill and taking nature hikes. Goes on numerous community outings to restaurants, museums, and bowling alleys, and enjoys visiting with her parents and family, both at JRC and at home. This is where they're toting about how life is so much better while you have an electric skin shock device that anybody could get to cause you immense physical pain at any time. So you have to excuse me if I once again call major bullshit. But they smile, they're doing all this. They are doing all of that, JRC, because they are pretending to be your very bizarre and completely inaccurate fan-fictionalized idea of what a neurotypical is, looks like, and enjoys. I would know that better than most because I did it. See, when I was a kid, I played softball. I have no hand or eye coordination. You pair that with somebody like myself who's extremely competitive because, let's face it, my whole family is. My brother and stepdad run the Spartan every year, for fuck's sake. That's its own topic. It looks like death. That's what it looks like. It looks like immediate death once you finish running it. Alright? They do those things so that you will leave them alone. I hated softball. I hate the way the sun would burn my face. I hated that I have always ran funny. So the rest of the softball team, whenever I would run to a base, would start giggling. I hated that the literally only time I ever managed to hit a ball was when it actually hit my hand. And they felt so sorry for me that they allowed me to walk to the next base. I hated everything about it. But I did it so that I could be left alone. I didn't enjoy it. But you better bet that I had the fakest, brightest smile on my face as I could manage at the time. Okay? Well, nature hikes and all of that. Like, you've gotten to CrossFit. I got into CrossFit in my 30s. During my school years, the only thing I was interested in was reading. Reading and writing. Okay? Those were my things. I was never real physical at recess. I never had a whole lot of energy to burn. My hand-eye coordination sucked. The only thing that was a part of recess I actually did enjoy was the climbing bars. I do like to climb. I'm like really excited because some point today they're supposed to drop off my new climber machine. I can and do climb like a little freaking spider monkey. That was the only normal thing I actually did enjoy. Okay? But what about the community outings? You go on those only when I fucking have to, and I don't have a good enough excuse that anybody would buy to get me out of it. Or if it involves going out to Silver Dollar City. That's it. Those are the only two reasons I am willing to go out there willingly. It's not because I enjoy isolation. It's because every time I walk out that door, no matter how many times I have proven how intelligent and capable that I am, everyone on the outside that is not immediate family, close friends, or allies treat me like I am 6, and that's when I'm lucky. Okay? I don't like dealing with it. Doesn't bother me anymore or hurt me the way it used to, but that doesn't mean it's not annoying when you have people who are invading your space without your consent and talking to you like you're 6 and trying to force you to look them, a complete stranger, in the eyes. It's not a fun experience. Okay? I like going on outings with very specific people. My safe people. It's a very short list. It involves my brother, my mom, my uncle, and my granny. And my friend Courtney, whenever she's in town. On the other hand, well, you just mentioned allies doing restaurants with them and meetings and all of that. Oh yeah, those are the autism moms. Those women are better than the CIA and FBI combined. Nothing gets past them. They're not just protective over their own kids, they're protective over everybody. But they are also able to do so as they have worked with me for 2 decades, have never talked down to me. Those are my safe people. I'm willing to go out in the community with them. I just do it in very small doses. Because peopling is exhausting. Okay? So, restaurants, museums, bowling alleys, visits with her parents, both at JRC and home. Now, I'm going to bring something up to you all. It's kind of past my brain as we keep going over the multiple topics that the JRC brings up in their word salad attempt to make their insanity make sense. But on parental visits, she seems like a completely different person. Do you all have any idea how easy it is for one of us to be able to mask if we only have to mask for a set period of time? Those visits probably very similar to the ones when I go out with my mom. What I mean by that? That means, depending on the activity, it could be anywhere to 1 hour to 3 hours collectively all together where I'm going to have to be forced to being in public. I can mask for 3 hours. I can mask for 2. I can mask for 1. It's no sweat off my back. It's pretty goddamn easy. I mean, it should be. I'm 40 for fuck's sake. That's nothing. I bring that up because remember when I say showing people the results that they want to see? If your interaction is over a very small time period and you have a good running idea about how long that's going to be, it's not that difficult to present to the other people the picture they want to see. In the case of SAS, considering it's act like this weird, bizarre, non-existent, fan-fictionalized version of neurotypical, or else, really think they're going to do anything to set a single toe out of line if they're able to help it? Considering that they hand the device over to the parents. Think of that for a fucking second. To use on them if they start, daring to be autistic. The parents that agree and advocate for this device, I don't think I'll ever comprehend. That they are willing to use that very painful device, a device that they have been already told was specifically designed to cause their child physical pain when they had a behavior because of their own diagnosis. What? They don't even question it? Because my mom would have had questions. And a baseball bat. We won't get into that. I get my own kind of aggressiveness from my mom and took it into my mask. So I both already have it and I also used it in the mask for when I really need it. You get my point, right? A 1 to 3 hour window is not really a good enough window of time to be able to determine whether what you're seeing is actually genuine and it's actually working and it's a real change, or if it's somebody that is just masking to save themselves from more punishment. It's simply not enough time. At my own office, where I used to work for the state, because of how I can present myself and how I taught myself how to mask, I had multiple people questioning my diagnosis. I mean, I didn't blame them. I did go out for second and third doctor opinion. They all came back with the same thing. It's not a good enough way to be able to get a good read on someone. The best way to get a read on me, everybody in my family agrees, is spend a good 24 hours with me. Particularly at night, where I don't have to mask anymore. I don't have to go people. There is no circumstances where I'm expected to go out and be polite to the peoples. And it becomes pretty goddamn evident. Okay? So you'll have to excuse me if I don't think these parents have nearly enough time within the brief stints that the JRC will allow them to visit their kid on the premises or off as the best way to determine whether the gene is real or whether it's a mask. But didn't they say some of them go home for the weekend? Do you know how many times I have masked without stopping for the entirety of a weekend? I used to have, I called it conference season. And what it was basically a solid block of about 6 months of the year where if I saw the inside of my apartment more than 3 times, it was a miracle from God. Okay? During those weekends, because this is how politics work, when I had to work and network, mingle as it were. We're talking 10, 13, 15-hour days. Presenting, taking 1 hour to veg, and then after dinner preparing to go out with drinks with these people, engage in the small talk that I despise with the entirety of my whole soul, and network for hours on end. So yes, even if it's a weekend, even if it's a 3-day weekend, it's still not enough time to determine if it is in actuality a real positive change or if it's a mask. So you'll have to excuse me, JRC, if I'm not buying what you're selling. Okay? We'll get to the next part here on the video after this. We're going to go ahead and close out for right now. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all in a minute. Yes. This is my mess. Kinda. It's not really a mess. It's just my portable elliptical does not fit under the coffee table. So it gets put there on the carpet. So, goodbye everyone before I take you in another left field.